Well, he's doing another one.
Just one?
He can tell on there, I'm not saying.
Okay, this is a new piece that I wrote. In fact, I just wrote it this morning. I had to write it down quickly before I forgot. It's called Thoughts on Aging. There used to be distant early warnings that could be ignored all the way home, or at least to the next gas station. Now, 3 alarm emergencies allow barely time to ask the barista for the key. History, remembered like a current event, actual current events are depressing reminders that only good things seem to change. Rarely for the better. Original flavor is not what it was originally before it was made in China. What used to be easy now is hard. What used to be hard now is not as hard, or as often. Years of education, study, lifelong learning of facts, formulae, statistics, and citations, once quick into service, remain in books for when needed. You know, the one written by that guy. It had a blue cover. I lent it to you. Or maybe it was somebody else. Anyway, the gist is, we really don't know much about anything. The perfect word, which once snapped into service, spitting crisply from the tongue to drive home a point with force and wit, now hovers in the shadow, telling me there is a perfect word, but stays just out of reach. It starts with an M. It sounds like never mind. Stepping forward into the conversation only after the conversation has moved on, rendering the perfect word irrelevant and ridiculous. Tolerance for noise and music the kids listen to, for crowds and drama and chaos, for endless activity, for new technology and advanced applications, is inversely proportional to tolerance for solitude and serenity, for pain in the morning, for waiting on movements, for marathon napping, for the imperfections of others. You kids, quit playing in my yard! I've just got 2 fairly short ones. The first one I wanted to read is from a collection I'm working on, and hopefully Janice's publishing company will at some point take it and publish it for me as a chapter. I'm calling it the Jazz Book.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's called, the collection is called the Jazz Books. And what I'm trying to get to with them, this one that I'm going to read to you is sort of one of the first ones that I wrote as part of the collection. But what I'm trying to get to is to write a poem that could be recited by a saxophone. By a saxophone or a trumpet. Kind of similar to what John Coltrane did, is he tried to play a piece of music that said a poem. And this one is, I've had, unfortunately, one of the other offshoots of getting older is that you start losing friends. And just over the last year, I've lost a number of friends that I used to play a lot of music with. This one is called The Last Set, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to read this one without choking up a little bit too. Another slow blues waltz gets played. Muted horns and old harmonicas lament lost youth. lost loves, lost dreams, lost chords. The last set of an improv repertoire. Another guitar gets put away. The dance floor was packed when the rock and jazz played. The bartender could barely keep up to the rebellious tempo. Brassy and strong, sweaty and bold, hot licks, cool riffs. Irreverent rhythms. More notes to the bar, more steps to the measure than the alto sax has keys. Chord upon chord, building, 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 as though the songs could never stop. But as the night rolls towards morning, one by one, the guitars get put away. The last set is soul music. The room empties slowly. The bartender sleeps on his towel. Some linger a while to dance alone or hold a partner in tight embrace. Now not much more than a trio, the band with dread asks, how many more songs do we have till the last guitar gets put away? I'm going to finish with what Candace has called my signature poem. And, well, it's just like, upon this tedious path we plod, passing strangers with the barest nod, until in some street or field or quagmire hole, by providence a stranger reaches out, touching our soul, and the loose fit bonds of brotherhood of the road are forged, lifting the spirit and the load. We each got to this place by our own ragged route, both battered and baffled with stones in our boots. We saw our own wounds in the other's eyes, and we knew without words why the other cries like the rain in winter unending and gray. Like the deer hides from the hunter stalking his prey, easy pickings as we wandered afraid and alone, until we linked elbows firmly and turned on the foe. Now our tracks wind together from where we met. The slope still relentlessly inclines, but yet seems less steep. All the rocks and the snakes and the trips and the slips that dark fear creates we both know well, but now fear less by marching together from that loneliness. Our duet of laughter booms off of sheer canyon walls. Our duet of tears burbles softly over gentler falls, and into that river where past loves swirl long spent, along with youthful joys, sorrows, and bewilderment. What we know can be seen only to the next bend in the road, but that's enough, my friend. For around the next turn, or the next, or the one after, our paths may fork, and we may each take the other. And though our tracks may sweetly depart, each trail ahead grows a little less dark. The path grows less burdensome, the slope less steep, with you, fellow traveler, to comfort my sleep. Thank you very much. Now we'll turn it over to Garry.